So I was recently working with a couple of people who found themselves in relationship issues. Now, these are people who are dealing with ADHD issues like procrastination and time management. And then on top of that, they were sharing that they were getting into constant arguments with their partners. And what happened was they would share that they would, go to their partner, or they would start talking to their partner about some of their struggles, whether it be procrastination or time management or being distracted. And then the partner would come back and try to offer some well-intentioned advice, maybe time management tips, maybe a skill, maybe a tool, and that advice would miss the mark. The person I was working with would get really frustrated because that's not really what they were looking for. The partner offering their advice would get frustrated because their help wasn't even being received. And now we have two people frustrated, both well-intentioned, right? The person that I was working with wanted just to share how they were feeling, share what they were going through, and have their partner hear them and to understand it. They weren't really looking for advice. And then we have the partner who just wants to help, who feels like they're underappreciated. And so, yeah, and today I want to talk a bit about that. How can we increase the support we get, improve the support we get, whether you're the person dealing with ADHD or those kind of symptoms, whether you're the person trying to give support. And this doesn't have to be applied just to people dealing with ADHD and those issues. Now, this will probably be applicable to anyone who is in a relationship and wants to improve the support both ways. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe down below. Hit the thumbs up button on this video. Only if you want to, though. There really is no pressure. And oh yes, I have not introduced myself. If you've not been here before, my name is Matt. I'm a therapist in private practice. I also own a group practice. We help people with issues like ADHD, anxiety, and other issues as well. There's a link down below to the practice if you want to check it out. I've also recently launched an online community. This is not clinical. This is more of a coaching community for folks dealing with ADHD and those types of issues. Again, we're not talking about that in this video, but down below there'll be a link to that as well. All right, without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, so the first thing we actually have to figure out is, what does help mean? Now, you might have never thought about that before. You might have just assumed that when you ask for help, you need help, and people will just know what that means. Now, help is actually going to be really subjective, and it's actually going to be contextual. So when you say you need help, or when you're looking for help, or even when you go to your partner for support, do you know what you're looking for? What exactly do you think will help you? And sometimes you're thinking, I have no idea. I don't even know what will help myself, right? And so maybe we don't even know what we think. Maybe we don't even know what will help. We don't know what we need. Now, if this is the case, the first thing we have to do is figure out what will help. That's on us. Right now, there's a couple ways we can do this. One is to see a therapist. I mean, something like therapy really helps us learn about ourselves and learn about the patterns and figure out, what helps us and what doesn't help us. So that's one way. Another way is through education. So educating ourselves on the issues we're dealing with. So for example, a lot of the folks I work with are dealing with ADHD. So I'll recommend different books and resources and videos for them to watch. And as they learn about ADHD and as they learn about the different skills and tools and approaches that help, they begin to do some trial and error. So a really simple example, they might learn some tips for procrastination. Maybe they never heard of them before, right? So they try them out, they realize that helps. And so now they're learning what helps, right? Maybe for the first time in therapy, you felt understood. You felt like the therapist really heard you out and understood where you're coming from. So you start to say, oh, maybe I'm looking for someone to understand me. I'm just looking for someone to listen to me. Now, we're never going to be perfect. We might not have crystal clarity on what exactly we need, but we do need to try to figure it out. And that's what leads us into the second point. Step number 2 is to begin educating those around us. Now, let me be clear. I don't mean we need to go around educating every person in our life, but those that we're closest to. Perhaps our parents, our partner, the people that we're interacting with day to day, those we really want to foster close relationships with, then we want to educate them on how to help us. Now, you might think that this sounds selfish and self-centered, but it's actually the opposite. When we take accountability for what helps us, and then we educate those in our life on how to best help us, that's not just going to help you, but that's also going to help them learn how to help you, which helps them. It just helps everyone. right? So we have to get out of the mindset that teaching people how to help us is selfish and self-centered. It's not. So as you learn about what helps you, maybe you've learned that accountability and body doubling helps. So you ask your partner just to sit with you while you do tasks. You're not looking for advice. You're just looking for someone to sit there and do tasks. That helps you a lot. And then you would say, hey, listen, if you're able to and you have the time, could you just sit with me? This is called body doubling. It really helps me get things done. I don't need you to do anything else. I don't need advice. I don't need you to do anything for me. I just need you to sit there. I found out this really helps. Would you be willing to do that? Right? And in that way, we're now educating that person, inviting them in to help us. Maybe we found out that just being heard and being understood helps. So now when we're talking to our partner, when they offer advice, we say, hey, listen, that I understand that's well intention. Right now, I just need someone to hear me out. I'm just looking to be heard. So now again, we're being accountable and we're educating on what helps us. And so this is how we can then start to help not only ourselves, but those around us. And I promise this will be good on both fronts, in both directions, not just for you, but those around you. It'll go a long way. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you learned something. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.